What if the most dangerous word in your life is almost invisible? A word that hides in good intentions and perfect plans. Picture a blank page at sunrise, your heart alive with an idea that feels like it could change everything. You sketch the outlines of a dream, a business, a book, a body transformed. The first day is electric. The second day hums with possibility. But then perfection walks in wearing a friendly smile and whispers that it would be better to wait until you have more time, more knowledge, more certainty. The dream begins to slow, then stall, until it disappears into the quiet graveyard of almost finished things. Jon Acuff wrote Finish because he kept meeting people who were brilliant at starting and masters of abandoning. He noticed that we live in a culture obsessed with beginnings, where we celebrate fresh starts and dramatic launches while almost never honoring the quiet, unglamorous act of completion. Starting is fun, finishing is rare, and in that gap between the spark and the end lies the truth about how our minds sabotage us. The book is a map through that sabotage. It starts with a simple revelation. Perfectionism is the hidden villain. Perfection looks noble, but it is a liar. It tells you that if the plan is not flawless, it is worthless. That if the day is not ideal, you have failed already. Maybe you promised yourself you would write every morning for an hour, and on day 3 you oversleep. Perfectionism says the streak is broken, the goal ruined, so you might as well quit. Jon calls this the day after perfect. It is the moment when most dreams die, not because they were impossible, but because we believe a single slip means the end. Finishing requires a rebellion against that lie. Imagine giving yourself permission to be average for a while, to write badly, to run slowly, to practice imperfectly. Lowering the bar sounds like surrender, but it is actually strategy. If you cut your goal in half, you double your chance of finishing. Want to lose 20 pounds? Aim for 10 and celebrate when you surpass it. Want to read 50 books? Start with 20 and let momentum carry you further. This is not laziness. It is mathematics of the mind. When a goal feels achievable, your brain releases hope instead of fear, and hope fuels consistency. Jon tells stories of people who embraced this principle. A musician who aimed to practice just 10 minutes a day and ended up playing more than ever. A writer who chose to produce an ugly first draft and finally completed a novel. They all discovered that momentum lives in small wins. Each small win whispers that you are capable, and those whispers drown out perfection's roar. Another trap Jon exposes is the myth of balance. We are told that we must give equal energy to every part of life or we have failed. But real finishing often means selective imbalance. For a season, you may need to focus harder on one goal while letting other areas stay simple. If you are finishing a degree, maybe the house stays a little messy. If you are building a business, maybe you skip a few social events. This is not neglect. It is choosing the finish line over the illusion that you can do everything at once. He also talks about the power of hiding and of secret goals. Sometimes broadcasting a dream too early invites judgment and drains the energy before it is strong enough to survive. There is wisdom in working quietly until the foundation is firm. Think of an underground seed gathering strength before it breaks the surface. Then there is the magic of data. We think creativity is wild and free, yet those who finish track their progress. Numbers tell the truth when moods shift. If you want to write a book, count the words each week. If you want to get fit, record the workouts. The numbers become a story of effort that keeps you moving when feelings fade. But finishing is not just about tactics, it is about identity. Each completion rewires the way you see yourself. You become a finisher, someone who keeps promises to yourself. That identity is priceless because it changes the next project before it even begins. When you finish once, the next finish feels inevitable. The heart of the book beats with an unexpected kind of grace. Jon invites you to laugh at the seriousness of perfection, to replace pressure with play. He describes setting goals that include fun, because fun is a secret fuel. A goal that makes you smile will survive the grind. Maybe you want to run a marathon dressed as your favorite movie character. Maybe you reward writing sessions with your favorite coffee. Play turns discipline from a cage into a game. As the journey unfolds, you see that finishing is not an act of willpower alone. It is an environment you build. Surround yourself with people who believe in progress, not perfection. Choose friends who celebrate milestones instead of mocking missteps. Create a space where your goal is visible and temptation is distant. Each choice is a brick in the road to done. The climax of Jon's message arrives when you realize that the gift of done is not just a completed project. It is the freedom on the other side. When you finish, you silence the endless whisper of "what if?" You reclaim the energy that unfinished dreams quietly steal every day. The novel on your shelf, the business plan in your drawer, the guitar gathering dust, each unfinished thing is a small leak in your soul. Finishing seals the leaks and returns your attention to life itself. Imagine holding the final page of a book you wrote, feeling the weight of a degree earned, or standing in a room you built with your own hands. That moment is not only about the object created, it is proof that you can trust yourself. It is proof that you are the kind of person who follows through. That trust is a quiet power that colors every decision after it. Jon Acuff does not promise an easy road. He promises a real one. You will face boredom, distraction, fear, and the sudden appeal of new, shiny projects, but armed with small goals, playful tactics, and a refusal to bow to perfection, you will cross the line. And each finish will sharpen your courage for the next. Now the question turns to you. What have you left unfinished because perfection said it was not good enough? What dream waits behind the door marked someday? The path to done begins not with a grand declaration, but with a single imperfect step taken today. Choose a goal, cut it in half, track a number, protect the time, laugh when you slip. Start again the next day without shame. The world is full of starters. Be a finisher. Close the gap between intention and reality. Give yourself the gift of done, not because the world demands it, but because your own heart deserves the peace that only completion brings. If this message stirs something in you, do not let it fade when the screen goes dark. Pick the one thing that has haunted you the longest and decide that this is the year it ends in triumph. Share this video with someone who needs to believe that finishing is possible, and then begin. The page is waiting, the race is still open, the finish line is already within reach.